Value rare Australian stamps from 1913 to 1931. The 1929 3p stamp depicts in the background a plane. First aircraft used for the transport of goods and mail by air. The airplane was first born in 1903, thanks to the intuition of two American brothers, who created the first vehicle capable of lifting off the ground and to fly in a controlled way thanks to an engine. With time, the airplane has been increasingly perfected and used in various fields, both civilians, what a military. Above the aircraft, the inscription indicating the nominal value of the piece, or 3 pence of the Australian pound, followed by the writing Australia. Under, another writing, which translated means airmail service. Under, one of the typical landscapes of Australia, with a flock of sheep grazing. Dark green stamp. It had a circulation of 3,720,000 pieces, and it's worth $6. The 1931 6p stamp was issued on the occasion of the experimental flight to examine the feasibility of a regular postal service between England and Australia. In 1931, the first flight crashed on takeoff from Malaysia. The next year, it was the breakthrough of the air mail service, thanks to the improvements made on the structure of the aircraft. Made lighter, mail was delivered between England and Australia. On background, you will be able to see the image of the Earth globe, depicting different continents and nations. Above, the airplane, used for air mail service. Above, the inscription Australia. Bottom on the sides, the nominal value reported as a number, or 6 pence of the Australian pound. Sepia stamp. It had a circulation of 443,000 pieces, and worth $25. The 1913 2.5 pence stamp was issued by Australia during the time the nation was independent and no longer a colony under English rule. Finished in 1901. On the center, you will be able to see one of the typical animals that populate the territories of Australia, i.e. the kangaroo. The name kangaroo comes from an Aboriginal word, which gave rise to a misunderstanding, i.e. it was 1770, when the English naturalist Joseph Banks saw these animals jump. He asked the natives what it was about, and they answered kangaroo. Thus the name was anglicized in kangaroo, animal that has become a symbol of Australia. It can weigh up to 90 kilograms, jump up to 40 kilometers per hour, and leap up to 9 meters in height. Around the kangaroo image, Australia territory map borders. Up, the inscription Australia. Down, the nominal value reported as a number, or 2.5 pence. Dark blue stamp. It had a circulation of 4,884,000 pieces, and worth $60. The 1915 quarter shilling stamp depicts in the center the face of King George V, ruler of the United Kingdom, and the British overseas dominee Ons. He remained on the throne for 26 years. From 1910 to 1936, Australia was part of the British Dominions, having formerly been a direct colony of the British Empire. George V. He was a great lover of philately, and created a private royal philatelic collection. Over his face, the inscription Australia, with the royal crown of the ruler. It is the crown of St. Edward, the most important of the collection of the English crown jewels. It was used for many coronations in the history of the British Empire. 30 centimeters high, 66 centimeters wide. It is made of 22-karat gold and composed of 444 precious stones. Under the face of the king, the inscription posted, followed by a smaller writing that means 1 shilling in 4p. That is, it indicates the nominal value from a quarter of a shilling. Dark blue stamp. It is worth $150 in the philately market. The 1914 6p stamp depicts in the center another animal very present in Australia. It is the dasylo. Small in size. There are 4 species, all present in Australia and New Guinea. Carnivorous animals. He was officially one of the 3 mascots of the 27th edition of the Olympics, played in 2000 in Sydney, the most populous city in Australia. Up. The inscription Australia. A little further down. The inscription indicating the nominal value of the piece. That is 6p. The Australian pound remained the country's currency until 1966. It was subdivided into 20 shillings, which are in turn subdivided into 12p. Bottom right. The nominal value reported as a number. That is 6p. Reddish-brown postage stamp. Issued in 972,000 copies. And is worth $175. The 1915 £1 stamp. It is very similar to other pieces you have seen in this video. On the center, you will be able to see the Australian kangaroo. There are 60 different species belonging to the same family, who live mainly in the Australian territories. The sizes of these animals are very variable. The smallest species can weigh 1 kilogram. The largest even up to 90 kilograms. Above picture. The inscription post of Australia. Down. The nominal value reported in numbers and letters. Or £1 of the Australian pound. This piece of grey colour was issued in 232,000 copies. And worth $600. The 1919 commemorative stamp was issued on the occasion of the epic and successful first flight made in 1919 by adventurers Ross Smith and his brother Keith Smith, along with Jim Bennett and Wally Shires. Set off in worse weather conditions, and with winter just around the corner, from England to Australia. A feat never done by anyone, and deemed an impossible journey to make. A flight 3,350 meters high, and thousands of kilometers long. The route flew over many countries, including France, Italy, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Asia Minor, then passing through India, part of Oceania, until landing in Adelaide, a city near Melbourne, in Lower Australia, on a makeshift outpost, where 1,500 people, they were waiting to celebrate the arrival of the plane. On the stamp, you will be able to see a flashlight, with the 2 protagonist countries next to it. On the left, the United Kingdom, country where the aircraft took off. To the right, Australia, landing nation. Above the aircraft, with the departure date next to it, i.e. November 12th. To follow the landing date, i.e. December 10th, 1919. Below the picture, the inscription England and Australia. Dark blue commemorative stamp. Had a circulation of 576 pieces. And is valid in the philatelic market. $3,500.